Okay, so tell the folks who you are and what you do.
I'm Michael Tavon. I'm an author and recording artist.
Okay. Uh, oh, you wanted to say something
No, I was
else?
just
Go
going to
ahead.
add from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, okay. Bet. So tell me about your childhood and growing up in St. Pete. How would you describe it?
My childhood was pretty good, even though we were far from rich, but it was definitely really good. I had a lot of time to play outside, but I was definitely more like the good kid, mad city type of situation where, even though the world outside was like really crazy, everybody pretty much protected me, and it was pretty cool. Like it was weird, like watching everything going on around me, knowing that people out here doing this and that, but people made sure I kept out of stayed out of trouble. So that's pretty much how my childhood was.
Okay. Uh, what did growing up in St. Pete teach you?
Taught me many things really. One, it taught me how to really hustle, like in a way, like everybody got to find their own hustle to survive no matter what it is. And it also taught me how to be tough, taught me how to be strong, and because coming from the area, definitely south side, you can't really be, especially a kid like me who was growing up. I was pretty much picked on a lot. Not even gonna lie, I was picked on for everything, so I really had to have tough skin growing up. So that's how it was. That's what St. Petersburg taught me.
Okay. So how long have you been writing?
Professionally since like 2013 when I published my first novel, but before that I was writing probably since 2009. I was writing songs with some of my friends as we started our music journey together. So I was kind of like ghostwriting hooks and verses and stuff like that since I wasn't really confident enough to record. So I've been writing poems and lyrics since like 2009.
Okay. And what would you say made you wanted to get into literature?
Well, a lot of factors that go into that. First, once again, I always wanted to be a musician first, but I wasn't really too confident in my voice or my flow. Or it was just a lot of stuff that going into the studio was like really intimidating to me. So I always felt comfortable writing. So always knew like, okay, I can write and I can put a book together. So I just started going hard with that, and I started mastering, like not mastering my craft, but started to like kind of perfect my craft as a poet and a novelist first. So that's how I kind of like got into that area.
Okay. And how many pieces of literature have you put out for the general public?
13 books so far, in 3 different genres.
Okay. And what are the 3 different genres?
Poetry, urban fiction, and inspirational quotes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would you describe the urban fiction part of it?
Well, yeah, I actually do the urban fiction. It kind of reflects my life in a way, like my surroundings. So it's much easier to write about that, what I see every day or used to see every day. So urban fiction is pretty much something that I'm real comfortable with writing. The dark side of life, none of the sweet giggles and butterflies and
Right.
stuff. I like to talk about a lot of, the dark stuff that kind of goes around here. But all of my stories usually have like an optimistic side to it as well. Because even after the struggle, there's always something beautiful at the end.
Okay. So you would say most of your poetry doesn't reflect like the dark side of life, or?
It does.
Okay.
I think there's a duality to my poetry because, from the beginning when I first started writing poetry, it was definitely like really dark and really sad because that's where I was in my life. But as I started to grow, my poetry started to grow with it as well. So I started to talk about more positive things, more uplifting things about love, nature, and all that stuff. So I think ultimately my writing just reflects my life or where I currently am at the moment. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Okay. And what would you say was your favorite piece that you have given to the people?
I have a couple favorites. My first favorite was God is a Woman, just because that novel really kind of put me on to like where everybody started to take me seriously as a writer, and it kind of really like showed everyone what I could really do as a novelist. Then my second favorite book might be Songs for Each Mood, just simply because it's just like it was the first conceptual poetry collection I ever created, where I kind of like merged music and poetry together, and people seem to really take to that. So I really enjoyed putting that one together.
Okay. What was your least favorite piece of literature?
Oh my God. Let's see. I have actually a few. The first three really, they were all kind of. The first one was called Garage Band, The Legend of Dookie Harris.
I remember
it was
that
a
one.
goofy novel. It was so goofy. It was actually poorly written. It was a good concept, but it was poorly written.
Now, would you say that goes into the urban fiction part of?
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was fun writing it, but then it was like nobody really took that book serious. And then another book I had published was From a Cold Dark Place, was like a collection of short stories and essays, which it was really like a sad collection of whatever it was. It was bad. Honestly, looking back at it, was really bad.
So you would, do you feel like most of the pieces you write basically like reflect where you are at that point in life?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Oh, you would say that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. Okay. So would you rather construct a novel or a collection of poetry at this point?
Well, right now I actually enjoy both a lot, just for the challenges that both kind of bring. Right now I'm in a space where I'd rather do novels, just simply because now that I have more time to actually put novels together, that I actually like fleshing out an entire idea into an entire story onto the pages. The challenges that come with a novel and at the end of writing it is more rewarding than actually poetry collection, because like with poetry, I just put a bunch of poems together and put them in a good order. It's much easier to put a poetry collection together, but when it comes to novels, I think the challenge really kind of gets more satisfaction.
Okay. So now recently you've expressed your recent disdain for IG, and then you went on to praise TikTok. What's the difference for you between the two specifically?
Right now, I feel like Instagram is really a dead zone. So if you're not really popping on Instagram right now, there's really no way you can really get popping, honestly. But that's just my perspective. Just because right now, Instagram they really only show, no matter how many followers you have, they're only going to show your content to about 2 to 5%
right.
of your followers. It used to be 10%.
Okay, yeah.
But lately, it just shifted to like 2 to 5%, and really, there's really no real money to be made, honestly. And it's real frustrating because they expect you to put in so much effort and energy into putting like the post together, hashtags, timing of when you should post, and then you only get like very small results. It's aggravating. But TikTok, it's insane how much growth you can receive and show in so little time, and for practically really not putting in a lot of effort. Because me personally, what I do, all I do is just show my book, then read a poem from the book. Then it may take off, it may not, but when it takes off, it's like
it's crazy.
It's astronomical. I mean, whoa! Never in my life before TikTok I had a book that went number one.
Yeah.
But in the past 2 or 3 months, I've had 5 books go number one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What 5 books? Give the people those 5 books. We got some self promotion right now.
Got you. Thank you. A Day Without Sun, Young Heart, Old Soul, Don't Wait Till I Die to Love Me, Dreaming in a Perfect World, and what was the other one? Oh my God, I can't think of it. Was it Nirvana Part 2?
Okay.
Those 5, I believe, that went number one. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
All poetry collections, by the way.
All poetry. Okay.
It's just so easy. All I have to do is just read the poem, post it, and then let the algorithm do what it wants to do with it. If it flops, cool. But if it doesn't, I go viral at least once a week. At this point, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So recently, you have gotten engaged.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, in what particular ways has your partner influenced your art?
Man, she's been everything, honestly, since I moved from St. Petersburg to live with her in Connecticut. It really helped shift my focus. It really helped me mature a lot, focused a lot, and with her having the same passion as I do, and she's extremely supportive in everything I want to do, and as I am with her, and I just really kind of boost, as an artist, having a partner who really supports you, kind of really boosts your confidence. Even if I always had the confidence within myself.
Right.
Like it takes it to a different level when you have that partner who's like, yeah, I believe in you. You can do whatever you want. Like I believe in you, and she listens, and And whatever, say if I have an idea and it's not really like coherent, she kind of helps me out like a lot. Like, okay, this makes sense, but this is what you can do to kind of help it take it to the next level. And I do the same for her. So, I mean, both is the most beautiful thing because, you know, I know that she supports me 100%, and there's never been like with her, no competition, no like, oh, I got to do this first. It's like, it's hard to explain.
Cohesive though.
Yeah, it feels so good, man.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. So also, Jhene Aiko has been a recent supporter of your art via Instagram.
Yeah.
Tell me, how has that made you feel, and what kind of impact do you feel has had on your career?
It really does feel great that she does support me because, if you know me, I've been a huge Jhene Aiko fan for a very long time. So for her to like, when she finally like discovered my work and really started going hard, I was like, yo, like this is like coming full circle, you know. And it's really an honor because she is really a sweet person. You know, we kind of chat here and there. So she's a really sweet person, and how she did help me a lot. You know, when she shares my work, of course, her followers flock to it and they follow me, they support my work. So her really kind of helped my Instagram presence in the past year a lot because there was a point I was going to give up on Instagram, but then she started, you know, showing some love, and then other celebrities started to catch on to it, and it's kind of like, okay, cool, I can kind of dig Instagram a little bit again. Yeah. So yeah, she helped that a lot. So
okay,
shout out to her.
Shout out, Jhene. Okay, so you're, like you said earlier, you're a recording artist. So what has been your favorite piece of your favorite piece of music that you've worked on so far?
My first mixtape, which was called Everything Is Everything, it was originally released in 2015, but it was like a jazzy, soulful hip-hop collection of songs, and it was really slept on. I slept on it myself, but when I look back at it and listen to it, I'm like, yo, this is pretty fire, and I really love the energy that I put into it. It's so fun. It was actually real, and I actually challenged myself to not curse throughout the entire album, and it was still pretty fire. So yeah, I really still love that body.
Now, is that on streaming still?
Yeah, it is now.
Oh, okay.
It is now.
Okay, what is it called again for the people?
Everything Is Everything.
Everything Is Everything. Yeah. Okay. So what's your current view on politics as a whole?
I don't know anything about politics. I'll tell y'all straight up, I don't know anything about it.
So you try to stay out of the...
Yeah.
Okay, for
I
the
don't
most
talk
part.
about anything I don't know.
Okay. So...
Which more people should do, really.
So why you feel like that? Like, do you feel like a lot of people just can't impact politics the way they want to, so they should just...
Well, just me personally, and it may be a little ignorant, I can admit, but I feel like anyone who's in office doesn't really directly affect my well-being or quality of life, so I really kind of don't really care for who's in office because, you know, my life is pretty much dictated based on the decisions I make. Like, it's just kind of weird. I just don't really I don't understand it, and the way politics kind of rile people up, that's some stuff I'm just not really getting into because these days a lot of people can't even really have good quality conversations about politics without it becoming divisive or people trying to argue with each other.
Personal feelings.
Yeah. And it kind of that probably turned me off a lot with politics even when I was younger. Like, I don't even really care about it because I see the way people
react to it. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So if you could have one conversation with somebody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Definitely Michael Jackson, 100%.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, man.
And what, name 2 or 3 questions that you would want to ask him or talk about?
Wow. Okay, so one, what questions that I don't know? Because I already know, honestly, I know so much about him, like, trivially. So, okay, so what was his favorite song, like, he ever recorded? That would be a good one. Because there's some songs I'm like, yo, like, this is too fire. Like, did he feel the same way I feel when I listen to it? Yeah.
Hello, what songs? Like, what's some Michael Jackson songs?
Human Nature is one of them.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I Can't Help It, and
that's a sleeper. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really.
That album was really a sleeper. Yeah.
No, that off the wall. You think so?
Yeah.
A sleeper?
I think people don't really praise it as much as they do like with Bad.
Thriller and
But it definitely,
no, I feel like it might get a little bit more than Bad. Oh, well, I get where you coming from.
Exactly,
Okay. With Dirty Diana and
he did go hard on that. He snapped on that album.
Liberian Girl and all that. Yeah.
And that's another song. That's the
other song. Okay.
Yeah, that's the third one, Liberian Girl. I'm like, yo, like he really did his thing on that. But another question I would ask him, I know he like struggled with anxiety, especially when it came to like performing and creating, and I just want to know like what methods did he do to kind of get over that hump, those mental humps, so he can push forward. And another one would be, personally, I never knew what his favorite album was, like not of himself, but just in general. What was his favorite? Because I knew he was a huge music fan. So, what was what?
And he was in that Motown era too.
Yeah. So actually, that'd be a great question. Like around that time when he was a kid, which artist kind of inspired him the most? So yeah, those would be some questions I'd ask him.
So, how would you want your legacy to be defined in the future?
I would want it to be where people can look back at my work and see that I always found ways to grow as an artist and as a person as well. That I never really got comfortable, and I always try to find ways to push my own boundaries, as well as not following trends and not trying to do what people expect of me, and I always just try to take it to another level. So ultimately, like when people look back from the beginning of my work to whatever my last body of work is, people can see like I always found a way to expand on what I already built on. So.
Okay, and that's the interview.
Yes, sir.
Michael Tavon, tell the people where they can follow you at.
You can find me on TikTok at Michael Tavon. Of course, that's the first one I plugged. Instagram by Michael Tavon, and Twitter also Michael Tavon.
Okay. Plainside Media.
Yes, sir.